fox.com.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts on this Friday. We made it to the end of work week. Got a good show ahead,
Yes,
recapping a lot of extreme weather out west.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, and you know, it's been one of those, for me anyway, it's been one of those long weeks, but like very short month. Because here we are already the 19th of September, so the month is flying by, even though for me it took forever to get to Friday. We made it, and it's a beautiful Friday so far. We'll get your regional outlook and look into the weekend in just a bit, but we begin with a monsoon alert in Phoenix as the season nears its end. Rain just absolutely pouring down late last night, along with thunder, flashes of lightning in that city. It's a video shot by the Fox Phoenix journalists in Scottsdale near their Loop 101 there and Scottsdale Road. Rainfall so heavy, water was just rushing from the draining pipes and flooding the parking lot at Fox 10 station there. Now, this is video just right outside of the Fox 10 studios in Phoenix. Plenty of heavy rain soaking downtown Phoenix. Puddles still remain outside. And, of course, slowly drying out this morning as the desert returns to its dry state. Let's, of course, take another look at this. As we get into those drier days, we'll have to look back and kind of see how this played out. But, you know, here we go toward the end of September, and the monsoon season is still in full force down in Arizona.
It absolutely is, and it's so much back and forth. Heavy rain, then the dry time. The heavy rain, then the dry time. So we wish them well during this very active season.
That's right.
But let's go out west now. It's the last weekend of summer, and it's bringing in some rain to parts of California. People in Sonoma County had to bring out their umbrellas, and there may be a little more rain today, but also the potential for thunderstorms, especially north of Santa Rosa. And there's some extreme weather in Southern California as well. This is video from Big Bear in San Bernardino County, which is, as you can see, experiencing some flash flooding as well as mudslides, as well as lightning strikes. And we know that's tricky in that area because lightning strikes could spark wildfires, but dry lightning. Clearly this is not dry lightning, at least in this video. Now this weekend will likely, the heaviest rain that is this weekend will likely happen in the Central Valley, the Sierras, as well as Southern California.
That's right. And torrential rain in California, as you saw there, did indeed lead to more mudslides and flash flooding like you were seeing in the previous video. This time, though, outside of LA, parts of San Bernardino County received more than an inch of rain in just a few hours. That led to several road closures, trapped cars, and downed power lines. What an absolute mess there. Yet they could use some water in some spots.
Right, exactly. There's never the perfect weather in the
right place. Yeah, exactly. Spread it out
a
little bit more, Mother Nature. But yeah, we do have a fire to talk about as well.
We do. So the wind is playing a major factor in this fire. Look at that video. Wow.
Goodness,
So these are haystacks burning out in Buckeye. So the viewer who shared this video with us says that this is near Rainbow Valley and Elliott Roads. Nobody was hurt, but fire crews say they are looking into what started the blaze.
Oof, yeah, and then hay burns very quickly.
Yeah,
if you
it does.
Are familiar with that as well. All right, let's go down to Florida, where Florida Power and Light is trying to make sure its customers don't lose power when severe weather like that strikes. The power lines that connect hundreds of homes in Palm Bay are being put underground. That kind of makes sense to make that happen. Crews have started the 5-month project on Emerson Drive in that area, drilling into the soil, start the installation process that will allow them to remove underground power lines and poles, then connect about 250 customers. The entire project is 3 miles long.
Wow.
So far, they have done more than 150 similar projects in Brevard County to help the neighborhoods there that struggled during severe weather.
This is a data-driven approach at selecting which neighborhoods to place underground. And some of that data that we look at is outages related to hurricanes and outages related to vegetation. And we use that data to determine which neighborhoods would benefit the most from this program.
So Florida Power and Light says underground lines perform about 50% better during storms so people don't lose power. All right, let's get to our regional outlook here. And then before we go to commercial, stick around after the regional outlook. We have some crazy video.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it looks like AI. It's so wacky, but it's real life. Let's go talk about our future, though, because the weekend is coming. We've had all this great weather. And now this.
I know. We've been watching this system that's been parked over the Dakotas all week long. We've been in the sweet spot, plenty of sunshine here in the Milwaukee area. But this change is now heading into our overnight hours tonight and then on throughout the weekend. We're finally going to see all of this rain and unsettled weather out west inching its way towards our area. There's also still some rain and thunder across parts of Nebraska, the lower Mississippi Valley. You can still see some of that rain across parts of California, too, as well as the Southwest and poor Florida. Yep, Florida's still raining, at least near Miami and southern Florida. The East Coast, though, has really dried out after what was a pretty soggy middle portion of the work week. That Tuesday, Wednesday, the Mid-Atlantic dealt with a lot of rain. Now, when it comes to the heavy rain potential, there are pockets of the U.S. that could see some today, including across parts of the Upper Plains and Great Lakes region and here in Wisconsin. Now, for the majority of Friday, it'll be western Wisconsin that could see, at times, some moderate to heavy rainfall. You can, of course, see the Southwest, too, with that potential as well. But zooming in closer into our area, as we continue to see this system kind of parked over these same spots, there is the potential for moderate to heavy rain at times. It's not going to be constant. There will still be a little bit of dry time. But by the time this system is said and done, for example, for those of us here in southeastern Wisconsin early next week, over an inch of rain is going to be a possibility, but it's coming during a longer duration event, not all at once. So thankfully no flash flooding threat like we of course dealt with back in August. There are still some flood headlines across California, still a flood watch for portions of that state. Also just a small little bubble of that also in New Mexico as some of that steady monsoon rain continues on and off as well. Not much of a severe threat today. You can see one small portion of southern Nebraska and parts of Kansas under a marginal risk, but most of us, especially here in Wisconsin, are just looking at some pockets of moderate to heavy rain at times as the day and as the weekend goes on. This is what we have here locally. Once again, Milwaukee and southern Wisconsin still in that sweet spot for one more day. The rain is across northern and western parts of our state, a good chunk of Minnesota, and then extending down into parts of Iowa and Omaha about to get some heavy rainfall too. That's moving eastward. Now, for those of us in southern Wisconsin, we're going to watch whatever develops down in Illinois. That's going to track northward, likely overnight tonight, bringing us a chance for some showers and potentially some rumbles of thunder. So we're good for now, but northern parts of our state, as well as out towards the west, still going to be dealing with that on and off shower potential here through the rest of the day. Going forward, you can see more development down south in Illinois, tracking northward, especially later tonight, and especially after your midnight hour. I do think truly overnight hours will have more activity across our area, and then it just continues to work its way up towards the north. Could also see some scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout Saturday afternoon and evening. Still hoping for a little bit more dry time on Sunday, but the chance for rain and thunder is still going to be there. Could see that round in the morning, maybe a few scattered showers and storms late in the day, and then Monday morning into Monday midday, especially a chance for some steady rainfall too. Tuesday right now, slight chance for some lingering showers, especially in the morning. Hopefully Wednesday, this system is completely out of here. As we just talked about, with the fact that this is going to linger into early next week, and this only goes through Sunday night, but with the fact that it's going to linger into early next week, it does look increasingly likely that we'll see in spots over an inch of rainfall from this. So this should be, good rain for our area with the fact that it's going to be prolonged over a few days. In fact, it's into early next week, Monday, and then potentially Tuesday, that we will have the chance for the system to stick around. Now, Now, a large, range of temperatures here. It's going to be cooler today up towards the north where the cloud and the rain is ongoing. Down towards the south, there could still be some 80s, especially into northern Illinois. Most of southern Wisconsin will see a range of middle and upper 70s with the exception of near Lake Michigan. The heat is sinking southward as this system starts to work its way off towards the east. So we're going to stay in some of that slightly cooler, more so normal temperatures here heading into the weekend. The cool air does extend into the northeast too, and those are the spots tonight that are now under frost advisories and even some freeze warnings as their overnight lows really drop. Now, high temperatures for us here locally, again, no more 80s, but technically these temperatures are a bit above average. We'll see a nice, steady temperature range here through early next week in the mid to upper 70s and just a little cooler by Wednesday.
Yeah, well, I mean, these back-to-back 80s that we just had, first time we've done that since the middle of August. So,
wow. So it's been a bit.
Yeah, it's been nice. We got a little spoiled. We'll still take some 70s. I'm good with that. All right, I promised some crazy video. I didn't lie. Check this out.
Wow.
Doesn't that look, oh my goodness, it does look like AI. It's not.
It does.
We've verified it. It's real. It was caught on camera. It's a sinkhole completely swallowing a soda truck in Mexico City. You can see the back wheels of the delivery truck just drop into the hole while the entire road collapses underneath. The hole grew to about 25 feet and nearly 40 feet wide. Crews brought in 2 giant cranes and a backhoe to pull this thing out of there. Officials say a collapsed underground water tunnel is to blame. No one was hurt. But what crazy video. The power of water. I know this wasn't technically weather-related water, but floodwaters can create sinkholes just like that.
I'm going to see that in my nightmares, I think.
Yeah, the first time I saw it, I was like, do we verify this? Yeah. Multiple angles, multiple verifications.
Wow,
bizarre-looking video. All right, we have more in just a couple of minutes. Stick with us here on Fox Local and the Fox 6 YouTube channel. All right, Wisconsin weather experts right here on Fox Local. Thank you so much for watching us. And as we continue our show today, 'tis the season for tick season. You have a little puppy dog. Does she get out in the back much?
She does.
Okay, Marty's out in the back a lot. And even just your regular lawn, certainly high grass, Ticks are a problem when you have
Watch
dogs,
it.
but it's also a problem for people. Tick season may be applying for a bit of an extension, according to experts. They say rising average global temperatures prolong the heat into the fall and can lead to shorter winters, allowing ticks to remain pretty much active. There are many different species that can transmit different diseases. The Asian longhorn tick is particularly causing headaches this year round. It's an invasive species that spread to more than 20 states since 2017.
Can reproduce without mating. So when she gets her full blood meal, she will produce viable eggs, and those will hatch into larval ticks. So they are very quick spreading.
Well, medical experts advise doing a full body scan. Yeah, you got to do a tick check, and showering after coming in from outside. Check the dog too. It can help if you spot any potential ticks that you may have latched onto your body. The sooner you get to it, the better, of course.
Yeah, I know it's gross, and I'm saying that for myself, but it's always important to check.
Yeah, you got to do a tick check if you're out in the long grass or out in the backyard for too long. Obviously, in our area, deer ticks are very, very common and can cause Lyme disease, and you want to make sure you get out ahead of that for sure.
Absolutely. Well, the summer months in Florida, as we all know, can be tough on your lawn. Keeping the grass green isn't easy, and that's leading to some people ditching their grass lawns altogether. Fox 35's Ted Linder explains the new trend that's growing in popularity. Check it out.
From our showers to our sinks and beyond, Americans use a lot of water. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, the average family uses 320 gallons of water every day, with about a third of that H2O used outdoors. And water consumption can rise for folks striving to keep their lawns bright green.
Fingertip to elbow. Okay. Doesn't plant that often.
But in a bid to save water for financial and environmental reasons, more people in drier climates are embracing a growing trend.
Xeriscaping is the art of not wasting water and still celebrating the abundance of the earth in your yard.
Landscaping expert Erin Murphy says xeriscaping helps to beautify a property in the absence of water because most standard grass lawns can die out and weeds will start to take over.
Your lawn is going to stop working and looking good. You're going to have to address it. You're going to have to open your eyes and say, what could I do that's different and better?
Murphy says you can accomplish drought-resistant landscaping in many different ways.
Most people think of like a gravel garden with perennial plants in it when they think of xeriscaping. You can also have a lush prairie. You can have a crevice garden or a rock garden with tiny little plants growing amid stone features. You can have a cactus garden.
Abandoning grass lawns can also help people limit fertilizer and pesticide use, which environmental advocates warn can get washed into rivers and other water sources. Meanwhile, growing native plants instead of grass can also help attract critical pollinators to your neighborhood. Ted Linder, Fox News.
Absolutely, yeah, native plants help the pollinators, and if I don't have to mow as much of my lawn,
win-win.
So much the better, right? Yeah, it's all good stuff right there. So maybe check it out. Not just for Florida. Obviously, that report was filed and done in Florida, but it applies here as well.
Anywhere.
Speaking of applies here, potentially applies throughout our solar system, solar flares, right? We had that great night where we talked all about the beautiful northern lights just recently. Well, we talked about it on the Isobar, too, our regional weather podcast. And Rich, who is the chief meteorologist out in Detroit, it's okay. We're choking up over. You all right?
Yep. I'm going to step off.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, Rich over in Detroit, he had a really good point about, we get obsessed with the colors of these beautiful events, but sometimes they have the potential to be disastrous. In fact, there was an event back in 1859 that was one of the most powerful ever on record. So we got to talking about what would happen if that actually happened today.
So there was this event way back when, close to the Civil War time, that was observed by a British astronomer. It was so powerful, the flare, that this British astronomer actually saw it. He was looking at the sun when it happened. And they say, these experts, and I am not one of them, but if something like that, if an event like that happened today, it could cause $1 to $2 trillion worth of damage to infrastructure and global communications.
All right, yeah, very in-depth conversation about the impact of solar flares. If you want to listen to the whole thing, of course, it's on the Isobar. You can get it right here on the Fox 6 YouTube channel or on Fox Local. It's on demand. Just search and it'll be right there for you. We'll be right here for you. Well, I don't know about Steph. We'll have to check on her. But hopefully we'll both be back in just a couple of minutes. We'll get her a cough drop.
right, welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts.
You all right?
I'm getting there. I have
Right.
this weird tickle.
I know.
You all know what that's like.
Right. Well, you have young kids.
That
And
is
anybody who has
accurate.
young kids knows what that's like.
Yes, very true.
Constantly battling one germ after the next. All right, let's go into the ocean. It's full of things.
Let's do it. Let's
Some of them
talk.
are germs. Yeah.
Rescuers springing into action to free a humpback whale from a fishing line. So video shows SeaWorld Foundation rescuers braving the choppy waters as well as the strong winds. So the mission at hand was to reach a whale that was struggling to break free from a rope. Pretty incredible video there.
That video, yeah.
Now the rope was attached to an orange buoy. The foundation's rescue team responded off the coast of New South Wales, Australia, after receiving several reports of a whale in distress. The crew made several attempts before they successfully untangled the whale and let it swim away freely.
Oh,
We're so thankful for people who can actually, jump into action and help.
And be able to do these things for sure.
Us Joe Schmoes can't really do that.
Exactly. And then obviously it's the other side of the planet, right? But, fascinating video to have that, even just 5 years ago, we wouldn't have had that video
Very
because
true.
obviously taken from a drone or something similar. This video is a video nobody wanted to have. It was a really rough scene. There was a man hurt locally after a deer came crashing through the window of a Janesville restaurant. So that's the window right there where the deer got in. It happened Wednesday afternoon. An employee who was working there took the photos. She says she heard a loud crash in the dining room and looked to see, and there was a buck coming through the window.
Wow.
Landed right where the customers were sitting. They were just getting ready to order their food.
It was just a very scary situation, very traumatizing. Never had something like that happen. You never expect a buck come running across the road into a restaurant, especially on East Milwaukee Street, because it is a busy road.
Yeah, she didn't expect that at work today, that's for sure. Police say medics took a 20-year-old man who was hit by the buck straight to the hospital with some injuries. 2 employees managed to escape. The deer ran outside, and they have not seen it since.
I mean, that was a large piece of glass.
Right.
that was out of that window.
I know. Well, I mean, those things are massive, and obviously he was Buck, was probably running on a lot of adrenaline at that point, and hopefully they don't find it injured later.
Right.
Hopefully it was just minor wounds for the buck as well. What a crazy story, though, as you're ordering your food, all of a sudden this buck comes through the window. The amazing world of animals, right? Well, thank you so much for yet another amazing week, joining us here on the Fox Local channel and, of course, the Fox 6 YouTube channel. You can be a part of our show, and we've had a couple of great questions this week, so keep them coming. Just scan that QR code right there, and that'll take you straight to a form that you can fill out to ask a question. You can upload a pic, ask us, what kind of cloud is this? Why is this water here? What's going on with all these mosquitoes? Whatever you want to ask us, we will do our very best to answer it. Any science, weather-related question, you name it. We'll try to get on top of that. And we have to thank you as far as your support goes, because, we have been doing this show now, coming up on, I think we're at 7 or 8 months at this point.
I think so, yeah.
And you have routinely made us one of our top streamed and top watched shows on Fox Local.
Yeah.
Every day we get a report of what they call the total viewing time, or TVTs, and we're always very happy when we see our show name there in our top 6. Channel 6, we got to do a top 6.
Right, of course.
So you guys have helped us do that. We appreciate it. And of course, if you want to continue to support us, you can always watch it on demand, share the YouTube connection on your social media, and then that way we'll find an even broader audience.
And this has been awesome for us too. Excuse me, to not, to branch out from just Milwaukee weather, to see more of the bigger picture and really dive into some of the behind the scenes as well of a lot of the stuff that we deal with every single day.
Right, and some of the longer range trends and some of the bigger global patterns, it's not something we can necessarily take the time to do during our local regularly scheduled news programs, right? Especially on Wake Up, which you and I both work on, where it's kind of quick. You want to get your quick forecast, you got to get to work, got to get the kids on the school bus. So this gives us a chance to kind of dig deep. Now, if there are things you'd like to see on the show, again, you can use the QR code, or you can email us directly. It's just rob.haswell and stephanie.barrichello@fox.com. And, give us a couple of suggestions. Ask us to come out to some weather-related event that you might be having.
Love that.
Yeah, we've got the fancy new truck now. We got to put some miles on it.
That's true, and it's still going to be an okay weekend too. We're heading on into all of these really busy fall festivities type of months. So take advantage of any dry time we have this weekend. Just make sure you're checking that radar.
That's right. Have a fantastic, safe weekend. We'll see you back on the Wisconsin Weather Experts on Monday.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Welcome into the Wisconsin Live Desk. It's Haley. I'll be spending the next hour with you here this Friday afternoon. And then I believe our very own Ben Handelman's taking over at 1:30 and he'll get you to 2:30. It is a beautiful Friday outside for now. We are anticipating some rain this evening, and then it's going to kind of be here throughout the weekend. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll get you your forecast. But for now, let's just take a live look outside where it is looking a lot better than it did this morning. There is some